Hello and welcome to a slightly different version of a weekly Waypoint than usual, because today we are playing Ratchet and Clank 2, one of my favourite video games of all time, and I thought it'd be fun to just do some of the arena challenges on my personal save file as kind of for background visuals. Now take it with a grain of salt, because at first I went to the original arena and I realised I'm way overpowered for it. I'm way overpowered for the second arena in the game as well, but there's only 2 arenas in the game, but we do go there later. This is in my New Game Plus save file where I got the Platinum achievement for the entire game, or the Platinum Trophy, sorry. So I've got like everything basically, except funny enough, found out there's not an achievement for upgrading every single weapon to Ultra, so I have some weapons in need of upgrading. So there is some stuff I could still do on this save file, which is nice. But yeah, all of my weapons are way overpowered, and you don't start out with all of this stuff. I just thought it might be fun because primarily I'm talking about my ability to record my PS3 and my PS2, which arrived the other day. But also, here's an aside. We now have a lost episode of a weekly Waypoint because I'd already recorded episode 214. If you watched yesterday's test video in Ratchet and Clank 3, you would have seen that or you may remember that I talked about the fact that I already talked about wondering about how all of my recording setup was going to work in a weekly Waypoint, meaning I'd already recorded it. Well, here's the fun thing. When I was sorting out footage and making space and stuff like that, not that I even really needed to make space, I've got like 250 gigabytes free at this point, I stupidly deleted all of my saved Elgato footage, except for some Elder Scrolls Online stuff that I'm keeping in stock from ages ago. Which means the Fortnite game I recorded, well, here's the reaction to me finding out. I deleted... Oh no. Alright, I just have to do a new one. That's so stupid. I can't believe I did that. So yeah, as you may be able to tell, though I originally had a game of Fortnite teed up to show you, because the week before that I tried to do that and Fortnite just deleted the replay by itself before I could get to it, and it was a really good game as well, and I was really annoyed. But then I had another really good game, and then I actually managed to record it, and I was like, yay, and now I'm the one who's fucking deleted it. But you know, maybe it was for the best, because that weekly Waypoint was already outdated by the time it was going to go out. But yeah, let's get into the actual meat and potatoes of it all. I have bought some equipment which allows me to record both my PlayStation 3 and my PlayStation 2. I haven't set up the PlayStation 2 stuff yet, but I mean, I can already record my PS2. If you remember that old video from long ago, me saying, oh, I can record my PS2, but it looks like this, and it was really fuzzy, and it was, you know, 4x3 stretched to 16:9, and it looked really stupid, or 4x5 or 5x4, or whatever that fucking aspect ratio is, I always forget. Well, now I have component cables instead, so hopefully when I get that set up, that should look good. For now, I'm holding off because I've just got my PS3 recording set up, and I already have a whole bunch of extra wires to try and untangle and make not look awful and haphazard. To introduce PlayStation 2 component cables into the mix as well, well, I'm just gonna hold off for a minute. Let's just leave it at that. Especially when some of the foremost PS2 games I wanted to record are available on the PlayStation 3 anyway. So yeah, it wasn't all that big of a deal to try and get it up and running. It was literally just plug the well, okay, this might sound, if you're not well versed in how to do all this stuff, this might sound a bit complicated, but bear with me. You get the PS3, you get HDMI, plug it into a HDMI splitter, then one of the HDMI cables you lead into the Elgato, which is plugged into your PC, then the other HDMI cable you lead into your monitor, and open your Elgato and bingo bongo bango, there's your frickin' gameplay footage. Oh, and I have to power the HDMI splitter by plugging it in as a USB cable into the PS3 or into the Xbox Series S if I'm using that, or whatever console I'm using at the time. Thank fuck consoles have USB cables, eh? But yeah, because on my side to my left here I have my PS3, my Switch, my PS2 and my Xbox Series S all on top of one thing of drawers. Yeah, you can imagine how messy that looks, but I do try to make sure that my cable management is as good as it possibly can be, in spite of all of this. No, I will not be providing a picture. But as you can see by the footage, it works! It looks good! It's great! I can fucking record the Ratchet and Clank Let's Play of my dreams. I've been wanting to make a Ratchet and Clank Let's Play for at least a decade, and I've actually already recorded episode 1. There is a small technical issue in episode 1 of basically the audio. You can hear it through my headphones, through my mic, and it doesn't sync up perfectly with the audio that's actually being captured from the console itself, meaning that while you would never notice like the millisecond of like desync in the actual commentary, I'm not just saying you wouldn't notice it unless you looked for it, you literally wouldn't notice it even if you were looking for it. That's how small it is. But as much as I've tried to match up those two audio tracks to remove the echo as much as possible, it is still sadly there. And if I'm being perfectly honest, I don't really know how to get around that beyond playing the game muted while I record, which is not something I want to do. I think I can lessen the issue by turning the game down to very quiet within my own headphones, and maybe moving my mic back and boosting the mic a bit so that I don't have to lean as close to the mic to get decent audio. But the echo honestly isn't that bad. And I think I'm still gonna like try and tweak it a bit more, but I think I can put that episode out. I'm happy for the original Ratchet and Clank game to be kind of like my testing ground of making Let's Plays to like tweak all the technical things I need to tweak. I'm okay for it to not be perfect because that kind of matches Ratchet and Clank as a game, right? Ratchet and Clank 1 is not perfect and it's not my favourite and it has its issues. So instead of starting with Ratchet and Clank 2, the best in the series, don't at me, I'm going to start with Ratchet and Clank 1. Oh, this is funny, by the way. This is a don't get hit challenge. So if I get hit once, I lose the challenge. And yeah, you'll see how it goes. Anyway, beyond all of that recording PS3 talk, what have I been up to this week? Well, first of all, I've been watching some more classic Doctor Who and making videos. There's one going out on Sunday. I've been having a great time doing that still. It's one of those things where I honestly don't think I would be enjoying it as much if I wasn't making videos on it. If I was just watching it on my own back, I mean, first of all, I wouldn't shut up tweeting about it. I'd be like, wow, I can't believe this happened like this and all that. My thoughts on videos are basically just live tweeting in audio format. But the fun thing about going back and watching those episodes isn't that they're great telly, because they've aged. It's that they're fascinating, and like I can point out all the changes and like the things I wouldn't expect to see and the things that took me off guard and stuff like that. Out of curiosity, I did go and watch someone else's review of the episode that I've got a thoughts on episode coming out on Thursday of. Wow, I tripped over that, didn't I? And I immediately regret it because they've got B-roll, they've got well-structured thoughts, like it's like they've written down a script and they're talking through it and they're providing excellent points and stuff. My thoughts on the series has always been more casual. So it's not really about like critically reviewing it, it's more about just like, oh, I was watching it and this is something that, you know, stood out to me. I believe I could make like serious critical reviews of these episodes if I really wanted to, but that's not what I'm doing. But I regret watching that guy because I'm like, oh no, his content's far better than mine. But that's Animal Crossing Island syndrome in a nutshell, right? You're really happy with your island and then you visit someone else's island and you're like, I've done everything wrong. The thing that really matters to me is that people seem to be watching these videos and really liking them, and like compared to my other videos on the channel, they do really well without me even putting them on any website and telling people to go and watch them, which is usually why I get more views than normal on videos. So yeah, I'm very thankful that people actually seem to be enjoying them, so I'm going to try and keep that up weekly. Also, I've been getting into Final Fantasy XIV again without actually playing the game, which might make you pause for thought, but if you saw my Sunday video go out about it, you may realise that, oh, you're talking about editing the videos. I've gotten back to editing the Final Fantasy XIV series, and in a weird way, it's really got me back into that universe and that world. I haven't stepped foot in that game since January, although it really doesn't feel like it's been that long. While at the same time feeling like it's been way longer. It's kind of weird. And that's because after playing from the middle of Stormblood all the way through to the end of Endwalker, I think I got a little bit burnt out on the game. Like, not while I was playing the story, but as soon as that story ended and I was like looking into endgame activities, nothing was really grabbing me, and I think that's just because I'd spent so long playing the game. As you may well know, I am constantly hopping between different games, or different MMOs. Like the other day I was playing World of Warcraft, then this last month I've been hyper-focusing on ESO instead, and now I feel like I'm going to give that a break until High Isle comes out. I think if I didn't have this video series to edit, I would probably be playing Final Fantasy XIV right now, but I'm really enjoying going back and reliving the Endwalker story by editing these videos and seeing what my reactions were and remembering how some of the story went by making these videos in the first place. Towards the end of the spate of Final Fantasy XIV videos I was putting out a few months ago, I think I was getting kind of burnt out on editing the videos, because it was like when I was coming up to the end of the videos that were already scheduled, I was like, oh, I need to go and make more Final Fantasy videos, you know. I think it was probably tied to the burnout of the game I was feeling at that time. But now I'm editing videos weeks in advance again, because I just like, I can't put it down. I'm like, I mean, I know what happens, but I want to get to the next video. I want to edit the next one and put that one out. Now, in terms of games I actually have been playing this week, Halo Infinite. I've been getting back into Halo Infinite Season 2 because when Season 2 first launched, I was like, you know, I'm not really playing Halo Infinite right now. Not for the same reasons that other people aren't playing it. Like, well, okay, probably for the same reason. But I'm not like, oh, there's nothing to do in that game, you know? It's just, I played a whole bunch of it when Season 1 came out. If they had released Season 2 earlier, then yeah, I probably would have gotten back into it, but at the same time, they released Season 2 and it didn't immediately grab me, you know? I was just kind of like, I'll get back to it at some point, the way I do with most of these games. Well, I've decided to get back to it. On a whim, I launched it the other day, and I was kind of like, I did a stream in it. I was like, oh yeah, Halo's fun. I want to get back into playing Halo. There's not a whole lot of new content in Season 2. There's a new 4v4 map, and there's a new Big Team Battle map. I haven't seen the new Big Team Battle map, but I will say, while I was a little bit like, oh, that's not a lot, when I played the new 4v4 map, I was like, oh, this is a really fucking good map. It reminds me of Halo 3 in a weird way, but I like it. It's kind of like the Forerunner architecture map we were missing, but at the same time, it's not just Forerunner architecture, it's also like kind of overgrown and mossy. I think 343 definitely got the feedback of like, we would like to see more varied kind of landscapes in this game. I've also been playing the Fracture event, which in Season 2 there's a new Fracture event, and it's to do with a game mode called Land Grab, which I didn't think I would like. It's basically objective based capture the hill stuff, but when you capture a hill it immediately disappears, and it's 3 hills per round, and well, it's not like rounds, like it doesn't stop the game or anything, but you know what I mean. And it cycles out, and it's fairly basic, but it's quite fun, like in terms of just in-game strategy on the moment. Now, the cosmetics for Season 2 didn't immediately grab me, but they have grown on me. The cosmetics for the new Fracture event are just absolutely 100% not my thing. I see what they were going for, but they just look so dull. I really hope that in future content they kind of branch out from this grounded aesthetic they've been trying to go for, because I'm really not about it. I came to appreciate the Season 2 armor because it kind of reminds me of the Korvax from No Man's Sky, and you might be thinking, Christian, you just said it was grounded, and now you're saying it looks like an outer space armor. I'm like, well, I mean more the Fracture event looks super grounded. It's quite World War I-esque. It's like, you know how the original event was, what if samurais, you know, existed in the Halo universe? Like, what if the alternate history started with the samurai and the Spartans are samurai themed instead of, I guess, whatever theme they are now. It's like that, but for World War One, and I'm like, The Season 2 armor does have similar vibes, but it's a little bit more sci-fi, so I'm a little bit happier with it. Whew, I tell you what, I have been very productive over the last few days. Sorry, that wasn't much of a transition, I just started talking about something else. But I've gone from not being able to put out more than 2 videos a week for the last couple of weeks to suddenly I've figured out how to set up PlayStation 3 recording. I've started a Let's Play. I've recorded 2 weekly waypoints now because one of them didn't go out properly. I've got back on editing the Final Fantasy XIV series and have started editing those weeks in advance. I've started a thoughts per episode on Doctor Who. Oh my god, I'm gonna be all tuckered out soon. Oh yeah, I completely forgot. I actually recorded another audio log on Sunday morning, which I just decided not to put out because I don't want to saturate the channel, so I might edit that together and put that out tomorrow or something. I don't know, or maybe the Ratchet and Clank episode 1 Let's Play will go out tomorrow. Either way, I'm glad that I've got a week off of work next week. Let's put it that way. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention I got back into live streaming as well. I haven't done a live stream in a few days now, but yeah, add that on top. I think if I'm being honest, where this comes from is a few weeks ago I mentioned how I was getting back into writing, and I really felt optimistic about it, and I was doing like a chapter every day or whatever, or every free day that I had, and I had lots of ideas for this story. And then, as always happens with me in story writing and stuff like that, it petered out, and then I got really down on myself about the fact that I can't, you know, stick to a story for more than a few chapters. Well, let's not get over dramatic. I didn't get like super depressed about it or anything, but I think it just kind of drained me. That's why I went down to 2 videos a week for a while, because like in my free time I was like, I just don't want to focus on anything creative right now. I just want to play video games and zone out because I failed. But at the end of the day I tried, and I might go back to it at some point soon as well. But I think I've got to accept that like the place where I can have a creative outlet is this YouTube channel where I can like consistently like have a creative outlet. That is, I spent my entire life thinking I wanted to be a writer, and I'm not going to give up on that. I do still want to be a writer. That's still something I'm going to do one day, but I think the thing that comes most naturally to me these days is this YouTube channel and making videos and making content and stuff like that. And I think as long as I accept that as a positive force of creation like I have done over the last few years, I'm good to go. I can keep motivating myself to keep making videos and stuff like that. So yeah, that's probably kind of why that and the whole PS3 recording thing, I think that's why I'm back on it at the minute. I essentially had a couple of weeks off and re-evaluated. But regardless, that's about gonna do it for this video, so thank you for listening to my inane ramblings. Maybe one day I will actually get a weekly Waypoint with Fortnite video content in it out to you. Of course, we do now have the entire PlayStation 3 catalogue that I own to choose from in terms of weekly Waypoint stuff, but I'm starting to realise I don't have a lot of PS3 games. I might actually start buying some, to be honest, especially now that I can just record like shenanigans videos in PS3 games and stuff too. The possibilities are endless.